Whew, man, it looks nice out there, but I can tell you this, it is really not all that great. That wind is cranking through here, and of course this tunnel cover it is basically like a wind tunnel for aerodynamics testing, except nothing in here is aerodynamic, including me. So yeah, I'm gonna get this Mini X fired up, I hope. We'll see what happens. This is gonna be a really good cold start because this thing hasn't been started in a couple weeks. And this whole week, this whole past weekend up until today and throughout this whole week, it's been in the teens at night and low to mid 20s during the day. And we'll have to see. This thing might be dead as a doornail. Give it a zap here with the glow plug. Kind of intermittent zapping it, not trying to have too long of a hold on it. Leave some battery for the starter. All right, getting some smoke. That's good. Woo. This baby's gonna have to warm up for at least a half hour before I touch anything. So what I'm doing down here, anyway, I guess I might as well let you in on that. I'm gonna be bringing the brute force up to the garage this evening, and I'm gonna do an oil change on it and give her some love, and maybe talk about it a little bit. So if you guys want to stick around till that part of the video, and also while I'm doing that, I'll probably have a sticker available at that time, and I'll give anybody who's interested a look at the sticker. There we go. That a girl? Beautiful. Holy moly, is it cold out here. And I like the cold weather. Of course, I'm obviously not dressed for it. If you can hear Bo in the background, he's in the house barking and a little distressed and upset. So you may have seen in early videos, if you've been following me for a while, we have a border collie, and her name is Ellie, and she's a red and white. She's about 10 years old. She's been with us for well, pretty much the whole time. We got her at about 8 weeks, and so we just we had to send her to the doctors. My folks are out there right now, and we're waiting to hear back with what's going on. But she recently has started coughing, hacking, and kind of getting the tremors every once in a while. Kind of stuff that's out of the normal. So we're hoping to hear back with some decent news anyway. All right, everybody. So we're up here in the garage doing the oil change. So this is my oil of choice. Rotella seems to be a good choice for no matter what you're doing. So I actually I don't have the manual for this machine, so I had to kind of Googleify it. So SAE seems to be what the actual manufacturer suggests. So that's what I'm going to use. That'll work fine, I suppose. And yeah, I'm going to set you guys up. I'm going to try to get you a decent angle. See what we can do. Apologize. I'm stepping over this fluorescent light ballast that we removed. As you can see, if you guys have been following, you'll remember that the garage was basically a dungeon. You couldn't see anything in here. The only light was over the door over there and the one over my workbench space thing, whatever you want to call it. Mess, mainly. So we got some LED lights, and it's not really doing it justice with the glare in the lens, but yeah, it's tremendous difference. Still not the best, but way better than what we've had in the past 20 years. So yeah, we're gonna get to it. Let me get you guys set up so you can hang out down there with me. All right, so here we are on the floor. This drain plug, if any of you are curious, for this Kohler motor is a 1/2 inch. So that way, when I broke it loose, it was a little bit too much for camera at the moment, so I wanted to snug it back up for a second. And you know what, before I want to take the dipstick out and make it so that it drains a little easier, I'll put this back up here. Now I just got a chime on my phone. Boy, I hope my hand wasn't in the way. Just got a chime on my phone, and my hunch is that it has something to do with Ellie. So once I get this draining, I'll check it out, and hopefully we have some good news. Oh, okay, there's the washer. All right, so this washer is not secured to the nut. Usually there's some sort of a recessed area below the hex head on some of these drain plugs, and the washer actually kind of stays on there. But this one will fall off, so just keep that in mind when you're doing an oil change. Let's check out this text message. All right, so I guess no news is good news, right? So no word on Ellie yet. I guess Bo was just barking because he had to go out. All right, here we go. She's all drained. What am I doing? I'm so distracted by this whole thing with Ellie. Still haven't heard anything. It's definitely stressing us out. She was very, what am I talking about? She is a very special cog in this this life we live here. All of our fur babies are. Our fur babies give us purpose, especially my parents. I mean, all of their furless babies are all grown up. So, those are their continuation of parenthood. So we're always so used to. Better clean that funnel out. Oh boy. Poor Bo's in there sounding off like a local fire whistle. We have a coyote problem here where we are. It's actually quite bad. Yeah, anywho, enough of that rant or ramble. So this this Kohler 14 horse on the Kohler website says it takes 1.2 quarts. So I'm almost through the first quart, and we'll pop this funnel out and see where we are with the dipstick. I got to be careful. You know, anybody should be careful when filling these things up, because typically if it runs out of the filler hole a little bit, that's usually when it's level with the bottom of the filler hole. That's typically your full mark. So with any engine, doesn't matter what it is, any engine, you don't want to overfill it. So yeah, Bo's going off. So either somebody's driving by out at the end of the driveway on the cul-de-sac, or or there's a coyote or a group of coyotes, a pack out there hooting and hollering, because when he hears them, he goes off like a siren. Although it could be something less scary, like a Amazon driver or UPS. I'm still not used to it being dark out at this time. I don't think I ever will be, honestly. So I see it this dark and I just kind of automatically, I don't know, that's kind of looking full. I don't know if I want to put another 0.2 in there. Definitely don't want to overfill it. I just kind of wanted to talk about this machine a little bit. This thing has really changed the way I do things around here. It saves my back. It's got a ton of splitting power. And the four-way wedge just absolutely expedites the resplitting process that I choose to go through to make those nicer splits. And yeah, it's really a fantastic machine. I know there's a lot of other manufacturers out there that make just as good, if not maybe even better machines. I can't speak by experience because unfortunately this year when I went to Boonville, I was so distracted by all the tools, that I just vapor lock. It's even happened to me, when I was talking to Brad and Shibe. You go up there and you trying to get talking to them and strike up conversation, and you just vapor lock. 'Cause you're just so amazed to be there and meet all you great folks. You literally, it's almost like uh, getting starstruck, sort of. But even though I know we're all regular guys, I get it. But it's cool. It's definitely cool. But again, at the event, I just never got to run a lot of the other machines. It's kind of like going to the amusement park. You're waiting in line, you're waiting in line, you're waiting, and after a while, you feel like, okay, well, my feet are starting to hurt. I should probably go and try something else. So that's kind of really how that went. But I can speak for this machine in comparison to a big box store splitter, and this thing is tremendous. It really is. It does everything that they say it will. Um, the big box store splitters, they always fall short. They get the job done. They get the job done. They do it well, but they do it slow. They require your back, um, and it just these machines will make somebody, in their 40s, 50s, 70s, feel like they're 20 again. Um, and you could just put in those longer hours of splitting. And even if you don't have a lot of hours, like in my case, I find myself saving a ton of time. That last hour or 2 hours that I have before the sun goes down, I can produce, a face cord or two face cords of wood. And that's including, maybe stacking up some rounds, bucking up a couple extra. That's not just the splitting session. If I was going hardcore, just splitting and sending it onto the ground, this thing would make so much firewood so quick in comparison to a box store splitter. You really can't even compare it. That being said, I was actually going to try to make a comparison video, but once you put enough hours on a machine like this, you come to realize that it's it's not fair. It's not even in the same ballpark. Um, so it really is an incredible machine. I'm very, very happy with it. The electric start is awesome. Um, the external, well, it's not external. It's actually the opposite. It's an internal hydraulic fluid filter system, which is really nice. It's right in the tank. It's submersible, I guess you could call it. But it's accessible easily right from the top of the reservoir. That is really, really nice. And then there's also a pressure gauge up here, which I believe, yes, it comes directly off the pump. So if you're having, um, you know, uh, having to make some adjustments, say to your spool valves or anything like that, diagnose maybe a pressure issue, you having that gauge, if you were on the phone with somebody from Brute Force or maybe AJ or something like that, they would be able to ask you, okay, well, what kind of pressure when that thing's under load, what kind of pressure you're looking at. And I imagine that could be kind of like, a helping part for diagnosis. Um, Now, as far as things that I might find that I would like to see a little bit different, um, the really, honestly, the only thing I would change if it were my machine, meaning, if I was the manufacturer, um, this cradle here in the splitting chamber, uh, it works awesome. It gives you a lot of confidence that the likelihood of a round continuing off this side and landing on you, breaking your legs or something, is not likely, right? Um, However, I would like to see this splitting chamber wider, and I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so now that you guys are here, now the cradle here in the splitting chamber, like I said, it gives you a lot of confidence that it's not going to roll out and land on you. Now, the wear here on this beam is solely from debris and the I think they're called phenolic pads. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. I think they're called phenolic pads. Um, Now I put bar oil on here a couple times throughout splitting, depending on how long my session is. I imagine I'd probably do a little bit more if my sessions were hours on end. Now, this wear, like I said, is really only from that. Um, the only time I ever have wood that gets meat that comes down and rests right here on the beam is when it's small enough to fit in there. Um, Now, personally, if this cradle was just a little bit wider, right, um, it would help drop the bigger rounds down further and kind of maybe even contact the beam here. Um, Now, you might say, well, why does that really even matter? It could speed up the process of breaking down a larger round. And what I mean by that is right here on this wedge, I am at the second highest setting. Okay. So I'm not all the way down, I'm one notch up. This is the best position, my opinion. This is the best position at this height for running this. The only thing that would make it better is if you actually widen this out a little bit so that those rounds that are around the 20-inch get further down into the splitting chamber so that your pieces that go through underneath this horizontal cutting edge would be bigger, because your initial split goes basically right above the top, which is fine. I mean, I've been making it work. I would not say no to this machine because of this. It works fantastic regardless. But the only thing that would make this setup better would be that change. Um, that way your first split going through not only splits the whole round in two pieces, but effectively it would make the initial split a four-way split. That way, these two pieces that go through, they're going through and they're gone. They're already done. They're gone, and they're out of the picture. And then obviously your pieces that are left over up here would be even smaller yet than what they would be the way it's set up now. If that makes sense, I hope it does. Sometimes I talk myself in circles and I bring you along with it. So, anywho, this splitting wedge, is sharp. It's it's still got a little bit of a blunt edge, and one day maybe I'll be able to. I can feel like a little bit of a ding there, kind of mushroomed a little, but yeah, everything I've put on this thing has gone through. It's just incredible. Actually, there was a piece of maple. That was my fault. That was like a three-way crotch, and I had this up higher. It was one more notch up, and it basically tried to push the whole thing straight through. And I was afraid that the power of this thing was literally just going to peel the the whole splitting wedge right off the machine. That's the kind of noises it was making. So I just kind of pulled it back out of there. I actually had to use the excavator to pull it back out. But we'll change angles here, and I'll talk about a couple other things. All right. So now this is not a dig, a complaint. Matter of fact, this is not brand unique. Okay. What I'm talking about here with this log lift, it's more like a kind of like a public service announcement, sort of. Though the log lifts are tremendous help, operating these machines any machine that has to do with processing firewood or logging, anything like that, um, is very dangerous. Um, it's kind of one of those things where it can and will bite you if you are not paying attention. Um, it has a sticker on here, and I'll show you after I'm done explaining what I'm about to talk about. But there's a sticker on here that says, use your brain because the machine does not have one. Okay. And that should be a blanket statement. That sticker should be on every machine, to be honest. Um, and there's definitely no exception here. Now, I always kind of knew the dangers of these log lifts and things like that. Uh, and I kind of handled with care automatically, right? Because I'm kind of familiar with, other people's experiences, and that leads up to me kind of knowing what I'm getting into. Um, However, one day while I was down there processing firewood down in the wood yard, my neighbor had stopped by and wanted to, BS for a while and talk about the machine and how things are going with us and all that stuff. And he had kind of showed interest in the machine. So I said, hey, you want to run some rounds through it? You want to see what it's like? He's like, yeah, sure, that'd be great. Well, so I had him running it. Now, at first, I already had the log lift loaded up with a few rounds. So he just ran them right through. And I really didn't think anything of it. And I assumed after he was done running those rounds through that were already up on the log lift, that he was going to be done, and I was going to put the log lift down and reload some more, and I was going to get back at it when he left. Well, I put a couple log rounds on there, or I was yeah, I had one log round on there, and he picked the thing up and he hit this lever a little too aggressive. And I had said to him, I said, be very, very gentle. Well, his gentle and my gentle, and that's kind of everybody's different there, right? So the amount of input that he put in there almost took his head off because this thing came flying up like a medieval catapult, and he's standing here, and this thing, right? I mean, it came up and it came right at him, and it came down right in front of his face. And if he wasn't backing up at the same time it came up, I think he kind of saw what was about to happen. Because he was actually further forward. He was leaning down, looking at the log rounds, So if he didn't, that thing would have came right down the back of his head. And that day would have went much differently. So, partially my fault because I didn't, emphasize enough, I don't think, to him what would likely happen if he wasn't careful. So, yeah, these things are very dangerous. They're awesome. They're great. I don't think I would buy a horizontal log splitter ever again without one. But you really do need to have your wits about you. You've got to pay attention. Now, the only other thing I can say in the public service announcement kind of thing, and like I said, this is really it's not brand specific, right? When you're handling firewood rounds, okay, bringing them off of the log lift and things like that, when the chamber, I wish I had my tape measure. I didn't bring it with me, but there's not much room in this chamber for the log round and both of your hands. Okay. So when you're taking a half a round and you're manipulating it, you're trying to drag it over and put it in here, or vice versa, whatever, there's a lot of pinch points here. I mean, there are tons. You've got the cradle itself, right? You've got the push plate, okay, and then you've also got the wedge. Now the wedge would be the obvious, worst case scenario, because that's you're going to the hospital likely. Smashing your fingers here isn't quite as bad, but the wedge would be terrible. Have I had it happen? No. Knock on wood, right? Uh, Anything is possible. Um, but you gotta have, you really have to have your wits about you with these machines, and the splitting chamber while maneuvering these logs around. You see some of those other splitters, they've got 24-inch splitting chambers and things like that. And when you're handling an 18 or a 16-inch round in a 24-inch splitting chamber, well, you really don't have too much to worry about, because you still have pinch points, but I mean, if you're trying to move something around, you only have maybe 2 or 3 pinch point possibilities for normal handling, versus a tighter splitting chamber, which would actually you gotta have eyes in the back of your head and all over the place. Um, but those are the only things that I can talk about. And like I said, it's not brute force specific. It's not a brand specific thing. This is all the commercial splitters, and even the box store splitters. But the box store splitters typically don't have cradles like this. They don't have big push plates like this. They don't have real tall dorsal fin like splitting wedges like this, or any of the other commercial ones. All the commercial splitters, they have all this big, bigger oversized wedges and push plates and cradles and all that. So this is really kind of geared more toward a commercial horizontal splitter type of thing rather than a box store. Other than that, there's really nothing about this splitter uh, that could make a man frown. This thing is incredible. Um, Absolutely tremendous machine. Very excited to have this here and be running it. AJ Shaver was very, very nice to have me bring this thing home and display its performance. And like I said, its performance. That's all it is performance, really. I mean, this thing's like I don't want to say a Chevelle, because that they've got so much more bigger, higher horsepower, nasty, gnarly things that would more or less be a Chevelle. But this thing's a very, very powerful machine. And I don't know how many times I've said that through this whole spiel, but it's cool. It's a lot of fun. AJ, I thank you very much. And I'm happy to have this thing here. I'm happy to be using it. And I hope I have it for a bit longer. We'll have to see, and see what I can do, pull some strings and all that. But I'm going to stop yammering here. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your weekend, and put this thing down before it, knowing my luck, I'm going to trip on it tonight. Actually, come to think of it, I'm going to have to put this thing outside. Oh, it's going to be loud. Come on. Trying not to make it too loud. I'm going to wind up having to bring this thing outside anyway. Got to bring the Polaris Ranger back in. Make sure my father's geyser glide is in here and plugged into the battery tender. It's been really cold here lately. And you can hear Bo. I'm sure you guys can hear Bo. If you can't hear him, I'll be shocked. He's in there absolutely going off. He misses his mommy. He's very, very, very attached to his mommy and daddy. So, but anywho, I'm going to clean up my mess in here. I'm going to get this torpedo heater fired up. Keep me a little toasty. And oh, you know what? I'll be back in a minute. I forgot my sticker. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm glad I remembered. Boy, that would have been a bummer. But yeah, so I finally got stickers for the channel. It's been a long time coming. It's been a real long wait. So you can see there, So that's the Delaware Water Gap. Okay. And on your, well, I don't know which side it is, but Mount Tammany Ridge is to my left, which I guess would be, well, maybe your left as well. I don't know how you're seeing it on your end, but basically where the beak of the eagle is, that's Mount Tammany Ridge. And you can see the Delaware River there going up between the two mountains, and or I should say the split in the ridge. And then you've got a big, huge concrete viaduct there for a train that used to go through. And all that will be resurrected, I'm sure, at some point by New Jersey Transit. So if anybody's interested in these stickers, just leave me a comment down below, and maybe if you want, you can email me. Actually, email me. If you go into my description, you'll see my email there, and just email me your address, and I'll send you these things. One of these things out. So I've got like, I don't know, like 95 of them left. I think I've already allotted 5 of them, 5 or 6 so far. So like I said, I've got 94, 95, whatever it is, left. So depending on how quickly these things move out, I will at that point order more. And oh, you know what? While I'm thinking of it, I got these through Sticker Mule. Now I know a lot of you have probably already heard of Sticker Mule. Very, very good experience with this website. At first, I was really frustrated, but that's me. User error. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I tried it on my phone. It wasn't really working out all that great for me. But once I got on a laptop computer and I was able to, swiftly go through all the options and menus and things like that, much easier. And beautiful, beautiful sticker, in my opinion. I think it's gorgeous. And I'm definitely going to do more business with Sticker Mule. So I'm going to put Sticker Mule's link in the description on this video. That way, if you guys want to go visit Sticker Mule's website, maybe design some of your own stickers, they've got all kinds of merch and mugs and t-shirts and other things, pins, so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of things that they can do. And very high quality sticker too. So I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are interested in maybe getting some of these and plastering them on your fridges and your coolers and your splitters and whatever. So thanks again for hanging out with me here on Mount Tammany Ridge. Hope I didn't chew your ear off too much. If you like what you see here on the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, just like, comment, subscribe, maybe share with some friends that might be interested in the same content. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Sooner than later, I hope. Ciao.